Good evening, everybody. I'm Cortney.
I'm Sean.
We are Hill City Paranormal.
ACP in the house, gang, gang.
What's up, Paul? Paul Fowler.
Paul Fowler.
From where?
North Carolina Coastal Plains.
He did not look. I'm so proud, y'all.
I'm on my phone.
I'm so proud.
Damn phone. Sorry, I was sharing this to my page, trying to get people out of here. Sharing the podcast.
Daryl Paulette, Bedford Paranormal.
Barefoot.
Ronnie Anderson, Bedford Paranormal. Becky Paulette, spouse of Daryl Paulette, Bedford Paranormal. Leah, hey. All right. A good spooky quote for today.
Spooky quote. Hey, Leah.
According to AI.
Becky, Ronnie.
Because I've been playing around with AI.
Sorry I missed y'all. I'm trying to share the podcast. Sorry.
Today's spooky quote is, even the devil was once an angel.
Ooh. Sounds like a good song.
Okay.
I'm going to have to write me another song for the podcast.
So I'm like, all right, guys, I'm going to talk about this AI crap. I might make some enemies. I don't care. I refuse to allow technology to like completely consume my life and like think for me, speak for me.
And no, we're not sending shots, by the way.
No, I'm sending all the shots to everybody.
No, we're not sending shots to nobody. This is not a target at nobody.
Well, at work, I have to get all my patients to sign an AI consent form. That's where I was going with this. That is the dumbest thing.
We had to clear that up because Howie uses AI for his podcast. So no, this is not a shot.
I wasn't sending a shot.
Our partners.
Like how?
Well, I wanted to clear it up because you know how this field is. You know how this field is. So no. Michael
Brooks, FPRI. I'll just get off the subject then.
No, you can talk about it. I just wanted to make that clear because
Michelle Wilfong with My Haunted Apartment. Ma. Oh, look. Who is Strand? Who is Strand?
That's my new name, Mom.
Strand. Corton Strand.
Well, go ahead.
Hey, Shonda, FBRI.
Shonda. Michelle.
No. Okay, so I was like, what is this hype about AI, right? So I've got like this thing on my phone. When I got my new phone, it's like called Gemini. And it's like a whole Samsung AI thing, right? So you can like type in something or you can speak to it and it will generate whatever you like ask it to do. So I was just toying around with it and I was just like, I don't know, create me a cool logo for my paranormal podcast. And bam, all of a sudden, like a logo is created and it's a dope logo. I'm like, okay, AI, I see you. Let's challenge you. Add some ghosts to it. And so then they take the original logo that they do and they like add some ghosts. And then if you want it to be like a different color, you say, I like that logo, but make it red. And then all of a sudden they'll take that same logo and make it red. So like, I don't have an example to show you guys because this was me just like messing around the other night. But I mean, all the way down to you could ask AI, like, what should I wear today? And there are really people out here that are letting AI 100% like consume their entire existence. So Michelle asked me, I'd never heard of an AI consent form. So in the medical field, what's going on is the doctors are not dictating their notes anymore. They're getting an AI-based program to dictate the visit. Okay. So with that being said, as most things that are technology, right? They're not perfect. AI will literally make mistakes, just like you and I. But they make more critical mistakes than, say, myself or you. So they did a study on some of these AI dictation programs that they're using in the medical field, and they found that there was like 75% of newborn babies at this one particular hospital, and I'm not going to put the name out there, were being prescribed birth control. Newborn babies, birth control. If you put in newborn female child, AI said female, okay, they need birth control. It didn't matter that they were like 2 hours old, they need birth control. So they started messing around and finding other programs and things like that. So I am not a fan of letting AI consume your life and having it do everything for you. But if you needed to create a logo, if you're looking for a cool, spooky quote or something like that, yeah, AI is probably pretty cool. So let me catch up. John Sullivan, Fredericksburg Paranormal. Hey, hey.
Big brother John.
Yeah, Becky, it's totally freaky. Rhonda Harris, psychic medium Rhonda Harris, FPRI.
She did not run from me this time.
The queen of divination. All right. D, y'all young folks came up with that A1 sauce. A1, I got all the sauce. Yeah, Michelle, wow. That's what I said. Amy, happy Tuesday. Amy with Jinkies Paranormal. Yeah, Michelle, it's coming out. Like pretty soon, you're going to have to sign one at your doctor's office. Like if you have a regular doctor that you see. Yvette, hi, darling.
Hey,
I hope you're enjoying this summer. Sam from Wyoming.
Sam.
Carrie, hi, Carrie.
Care Bear.
Alan, Bedford Paranormal.
What's up, Alan?
I was dying. So that comment that was put on the picture of y'all standing there at Cabin Con this weekend, that was essentially what Dennis used to come up with that. ChatGPT is essentially an AI program that's used to roast people. So people are putting in like roast my town, like roast Lynchburg or roast whatever your town is, and it is hilarious. So that is the same concept, and I hate to say it, but that is one instance that AI was spot on with that group. Okay. Yeah, Leah, no. Sean, you look deep in thought as Court speaks.
I'm gonna let her cook.
Let me cook.
I'm gonna let her cook.
So AI does fault. I didn't know that about the doctor. It does. AI is not perfect. It is technology. Guys, computers crash all the time. I cannot tell you how many times my computer crashes at work. Like, it's dumb. Debbie Cushman and the hair in the house.
Debbie.
Chad is hiding from work.
Tell the hair I said hello.
Dennis Heslock is an asshole. What happens if you decline signing the consent? If you decline signing the AI consent at your doctor's office, they simply have to go back to old school and dictate the visit using simple pen and paper. So I actually have a lot of people that are not agreeing to the AI consent. So it's more popular than you would think. Ryan Jones, freaking awesome paranormal show. Howie, Rift Nation Network / Orion Effect / the second half of G3, if it ever happens again. Howie. Let's see. The doctor is a program database on which I've been check and balancing the information. I mean, Howie uses the AI as a co-host on his podcast, and that's his thing, and he can roll with it. I personally am not a fan of it. I like his little accent, though. He's got like this British... Is it British? Is that what it is? Like British or something accent? He's kind of funny.
9.
Oh, here we go. Yelling at the damn dogs. Yes, Rhonda. And they always crash when you need them the most. Got a whole line of people and bam. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Computer just froze. Yes, Ryan, we're going to talk about that. So we got to see all of our friends in one location this past weekend, and it was so awesome. I'm really excited about that.
And Rhonda didn't run from me.
And Rhonda did not run from you. Yes, the doctor is a co-host for Howie. I've heard it leaves a lot to be desired. I read about that permission to use AI. Yeah. I mean, I compiled a list of like pros and cons of AI use in healthcare. I mean, pros and cons in my personal life and things like that. Like I said, if I need to design a really quick logo, like it's super fast. And I don't know, if I can show you guys like live or whatever, but like literally if I sit here and go, Can you create me a logo for my paranormal podcast? It's thinking.
Both of them, Mom. Both of them.
Okay, it's thinking. And this is how fast I get a cool logo.
Here's a logo for your paranormal podcast.
And it's actually like pretty cool. I don't know if you got, I don't want to get it too close because then it's going to get blurry. So to describe it, there's a actually, that's dope. There's a ghost coming out of a microphone, and it's like a shield, and it says Paranormal Podcast. So it's like a pretty dope logo right there. There you go. So like I will use AI for something like that. Okay. Or I will say, give me a spooky quote for today. And like
the oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear, and the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. Gashev H.P. Lovecraft.
So, I mean, in 2.2 seconds, I got a spooky quote. I've got a paranormal podcast logo. Like, for things like that, I'm okay. Healthcare, a little bit iffy about it. I believe when death comes, that individual is resting, and the only thing we may experience is the energy that's left behind. No conjuring those that are resting in peace.
Interesting theory.
Jeremy, yes, we got to see Beyond the Badge.
Yeah.
The whole crew. Guys, hashtag content for a cause. If y'all don't follow them, like them, subscribe. Beyond the Badge Paranormal.
Jeremy, we need to sit down and have a conversation, man. I feel like we didn't get to chat that much.
Hey, Lois.
Hey, Lois.
I still love you, even though I got left out. I did not make it. I appreciate you holding the gate for me. So sad. So sad. Ryan, I use it all the time for stuff like that, and when I'm trying to write a description for the show. Bingo. So if I need a good caption, a good description, if I need to make an email a little bit more professional at work, I absolutely love it. I love it. But the fact of the matter is, the same thing I tell my patients, and this is all I'm going to say on AI, our entire, being right now is becoming AI generated. And that's just the crude reality of it. We are all, technologically, centered. I can understand it and how you feel in the medical field, same as in the military. Right. Right. What if you tell AI to launch a missile, I don't know, 2 degrees north, and it heard 20 degrees north, and you bombed an orphanage? That would suck. That would suck. It is coming in software. Yes. Alan has never used AI. That is interesting. That's very, very interesting. Paul, we have blocked AI in our business. That's interesting too. I will do it anytime we're going to come up with something. Yes, please. Girls' night. All right. Sean has a hello from the hair.
The hair.
The hair is here.
Finally, the hair is spoken.
There was a whole nursery rhyme like Rapunzel. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your golden hair. I feel like there should be one about John. Cushman, Cushman, let down your flowing hair. I'm going to miss Dr. Google. Yeah, pretty much. Federal contact prevents us from using it for security reasons. I completely understand that, but that's scary. Why do you want everybody else to use AI, but the federal government blocks it?
The crazy part about AI is that it's been around for longer than people think. It has been around for a long. I don't know why people are scared of it now. It's been around. Think about video games, for example. What do you think the computer's doing when you're playing against it?
Yeah.
AI's been around for so long that people don't even realize it.
Uh-oh, Russell's in the house.
Hello, Tyler, a.k.a. the Haunted Photographer, a.k.a. FPRI.
Tyler, that was so funny.
I was with you, Tyler. I actually was one of the ones who took up for you. I did not laugh at the joke.
I didn't laugh either, for the record.
I took up for you.
Because I really did not think that Tyler looked like Russell. But now it kind of stuck. And if you weren't there, I'm not telling everybody the joke. Sorry for you.
You always be Tyler to me, Tyler.
The haunted photographer.
The haunted photographer.
That's right.
I didn't laugh at the joke, Tyler.
Now, Tyler...
It was a little funny, but I didn't laugh.
Tyler...
If that means anything.
Is amazing. I saw your photography from this past weekend.
That man's a beast, man.
Chef's kiss.
That dude's a beast.
Love it.
That dude... Any type of photography, that man's a monster. That dude's just... Hands down, he's genius behind the camera. Absolutely.
So you had a couple spooky topics for tonight's show. What did you want to talk about?
Well, I was actually hoping the people in chat would drive our topics tonight.
Mom gave you a couple.
We always come up with topics during our paranormal chat. I was hoping that we could get our people who follow us loyally to come up with some topics, but one I had off the top of my head was those who investigate spiritually versus scientifically. People who use divination tools versus
Tyler, I'm not
more of the electronic side of things.
Jess! Hi, Jess!
Hey, Jess.
From Beyond the Badge.
Yeah, we got Beyond the Badge in the house.
Tyler. I can't help you with that
Tyler,
one.
I didn't laugh at the joke, Tyler. If you notice, I had a straight face.
But his fiance just said he looks like Russell too.
Oh man,
I don't know if I want to get in the middle of that. Yeah, they're bullying you, Tyler.
Well, there's a topic that you guys would love for us to discuss tonight. Please type it in the chat. But divination tools, I want to speak on that. Rhonda Harris spoke on
so eloquently,
very well on something. You know, I'm gonna pick on Rhonda for a minute because I never really heard her speak. I've investigated with her a few times. She's amazing to investigate with. We love Rhonda. I pick on her all the time, but she's very intelligent, and she gave me an idea. I'm not a huge fan of dowsing rods. I'm really not. I'm just not. I'm not a fan of how they work. I'm not a fan of. I know that people are, and some of y'all might hate me for saying this. Please don't. But I just never been a fan of using them myself. Number one, I drink way too much caffeine for it. But and I'll get to that in just 1 second. But when she came up with something in her while she was speaking, which was using a blindfold, kind of like an Estes method with dowsing rods. And that just put a whole different spin on using dowsing rods for me. And I thought that'd be a cool thing for someone to try during the investigation. I've seen dowsing rods used many times during an investigation where I was just like, okay, this is getting ridiculous now. I've had some of you in the chat with, I won't talk about it, with me where it got really ridiculous during the investigation. And I've seen some people use them where I was like, that's interesting. But using a blindfold with dowsing rods, what do you guys think about that? I think that's taking things to a different level. I mean, dowsing rods and noise canceling headphones, in my opinion, with maybe a spirit box is to make things tricky.
It's like a whole lot going on.
Well, I honestly think that if somebody's using divination tools where you take away the seeing and the hearing, the tool, and you're trusting somebody with a steady hand, definitely changes the game a little bit with dowsing rods. Again, the times that I've personally witnessed,
explain.
Has been very weird with me. But I will explain in just a second what the dowsing rods are. I thought that idea was crazy to take away the sight and sound.
Knock it off.
I thought that was genius. I don't know if she created that or came up with it, but I thought that was genius thing to do. Because again, I know FPRI crew use them. That's the people I've seen. I haven't investigated with a whole lot of different teams yet, but I know they do, and I've investigated with them and seen it do some pretty interesting stuff. And then I've investigated with other people that I've seen it do some stuff that I was just like, all right, I'm done. But what I will say is that putting a blindfold on, taking the sight and sound away with them, interesting. Why are you raising your hand?
Oh, I was going to talk. So, I actually think that that would be a really good idea. And let me tell you why. So, the subconscious mind is probably the most powerful thing that we have, right? So, if we're holding a set of dowsing rods and we physically hear somebody say, cross for yes, open for no, is there a female spirit in here? Subconsciously, if you want that to be a female spirit, like your mind could tell your arms to like twitch to make them cross for yes, right? So if you take away the every other ability or like the outside influence, so to speak, you could end up with more accurate results. Like Lois said, it knocks out two senses to make you completely unbiased.
Exactly.
Right?
And I think I'm actually going
What's up, LT?
El Tizzle,
Jason?
my favorite
Hi,
guitar
Jason.
player. Jason,
How's
what's
Kim?
up, brother? Yeah, how's the wife doing? Please tell us. We've been praying for her.
Ma, Zuko's just acting a fool. I don't know what's going on.
Now there is a question that was it Lo? Who asked me a question I needed to ask?
Daryl agrees with the blindfold noise canceling.
I do want to go before I get too far.
Do you feel we are playing with the devil by investigating?
That's a good question. A lot of people have brought that to my attention. I'm going to say personally, with me, I can only speak for Sean and the people I've investigated with. No, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm not trying to conjure anything when I'm investigating. I simply have a conversation, and whatever speaks back to me, that's what I do. Now, if I feel a presence of evil during an investigation or feel negative, I will walk away from that investigation quickly, and I have done that. If if anybody around me is trying to conjure evil, I will walk away from that. If again, when we investigate, we don't know what we're communicating with. We don't know what we're dealing with. But we all have that sixth sense. We all know when there's danger present. We all know when something's just not right. And even I know things can also appear to be friendly as well, and we don't know. But we do know when something just isn't right or isn't well. And I don't have the credentials to deal with evil. So when I do feel evil or something just isn't good, we do walk away from it. But we do not conjure anything evil. A lot of Christian religions will argue with that and say that all paranormal investigating is dealing with the devil. However, I do not personally feel that. I cleanse and before every investigation, spiritually and physically, and I do not do anything demonic or anything like that. So no, I don't feel like we're doing anything with the devil.
So I feel like every time we paranormal investigate, you run the risk of quote unquote playing with the devil. And with that, in my opinion, the reason I say that is because when you open up that portal, you never 100% know exactly who is coming through, right? So that is why it's super important to set your intentions. For those of you that were at Cabin Con and got the opportunity to listen to Rhonda speak, she said something that stuck out to me and put like all my thoughts into like one sentence. She said, and I quote, "Setting your intentions is super important. If you do not want to be jump scared, if you don't want, to communicate with any deceased loved ones, you need to speak that out loud." So if you're actually, going in with the intention of only communicating with the spirits that reside at that particular location, then that needs to be an intention that you actually set at the beginning. Okay, because if you just walk into a location and say, and more often than not, and I am guilty of it because I've done it, okay, are there any spirits in here that wish to communicate? That is like mind-blowing to me that I even have like made that, I guess you would call it a rookie mistake or whatever, because like if I was an evil force, right, I'd be like, hell yeah, I want to communicate. Like, let's go, right? But if I was also a spirit that had a message that wanted to get across, I would communicate too. So you're just kind of opening like an overgeneralized door. All right.
So
Now-
Samantha said what she has no clue what these are. So dowsing rods, in case you don't know.
Thank you.
What?
I was done talking. You can go ahead.
Oh, you're good. These are dowsing rods. It's a copper rod. Probably one of the oldest forms of divination tools. Just hit me in the head. It was used to find water, locate graves, find lost jewelry, tombstones, all that good stuff. You hold them in your hands and smack Cortney in the face with it. And a lot of people will ask spirits to open or close them for yes.
What about giving you a hug?
Some people said if you cross them, it'll give you a hug. But that's what they are. It's people use them to investigate. It's one of the cheapest pieces of paranormal equipment you can use. I personally am not a fan of them, but yes, I do have a pair, Sam. So this is what they look like. Amazon for like $12 or $13, I believe. You can get you a pair and try them out. But I highly suggest you research how to use them for any type of paranormal equipment first. My thoughts on Ouija boards. As you can see, we got one right here. I have a collection of Ouija boards. Actually, believe it or not,
I collect them.
I've got a planchette tattoo on my hand. My thoughts on Ouija board.
I just wanted to punch him, but he moved too quick.
My thoughts on Ouija board. So I've had a discussion with several people on Ouija boards. My opinion on them is that, again, it's a piece of paranormal equipment. It's a very old piece of paranormal equipment. I think they can be dangerous if you do not know how to properly use them. Do I personally use one? Absolutely not. I'm just personally not a fan of using them myself. I don't properly know how to use one. I don't believe anybody properly knows how to use one. There'll be people that'll argue with me about that. However, I don't feel like they're necessarily evil because, again, to me, it's close to the same thing as a spirit box. If they had a spirit box and whenever the Ouija board was invented, I don't know exactly when it was. I could probably Google it and find out.
We could use AI.
But if they had a spirit box radio, then I believe that would have been the Ouija board of that time. So it's what's really the only real difference in a spirit box and a Ouija board is spirit box is mainly going off frequency. We're hearing it as opposed to using our physical body to communicate with. And Howie and I had a conversation about that. You're using your body's energy to manipulate and communicate versus us speaking in the air and using the frequencies to capture voices and answer questions with. So I do believe there's a big difference. I don't, it's different. Yes, I do. I've heard the Warrens speak on Ouija boards before, and I like their perspective on it as well. Go check it out. Just not a fan of them myself, though.
The Ouija board as we know it today was patented in 1890 by Elijah Bond and first manufactured in Baltimore, Maryland. The patent itself was granted on February 10th, 1891, while the Ouija board was actually patented in 1890. Talking boards or similar devices for communicating with spirits had been reported in use way prior to that, particularly with the rise of spiritualism in the U.S. post-Civil War.
So again, I collect Ouija boards. I have old ones. I've got I think as early as the early 1900s. But do I use them during the investigation?
David.
Absolutely not. Mr. Cartwright.
Hi.
One of my favorite local country singers. So he ain't really local, but he's out there. Great guy, great singer. Chad Dalton, a lot of crazy shit that I will do, but the Ouija board going to piece out on that. I'm with you on that. I don't really fool with them. I think they're cool. I like the way they look. The reason why I have it tattooed on them is I believe I'm the Ouija board. Just a personal thing I like. I think they're cool.
I think there's a lot of manipulation with Ouija boards. You got to trust the other person. There's a lot of like caveats that go in, and Rhonda touched on this while speaking too. We grew up with a lot of rules, so to speak, on how to use a Ouija board.
But who knows the actual rules?
You know, you can't use one by yourself. When a Ouija board's not in use, the planchette needs to be upside down. There's a lot of little things. I mean, but that list could go on and on and on, all the way down to a simple bundle of sage. You're actually not supposed to purchase your own sage to cleanse your own home. Sage is supposed to be gifted. A deck of tarot cards is supposed to be gifted. If anybody's ever kind of dive whatever into like the Satanic Bible, you can't just go out and purchase the Satanic Bible. It's supposed to be gifted. Bibles themselves are supposed to be gifted. So there's all kind of general rules, right, that we learned on all these things. But at the end of the day, the Ouija board is supposed to be a 2 or more person spirit communication device. And how you're supposed to use it is you gently lay your fingers with little to no weight on the planchette. Ask the spirit, again, opening the door, okay, to God knows what, unless you set your intentions. Open the door and you ask the spirit to answer a question by spelling out, whatever the answer is. Can you tell me what your name is? And hopefully, let's say the spirit's name is Anne. Hopefully that planchette moves A-N-N, right? So that's what you're looking for in that. For those that have never used a Ouija board or were curious, do we personally use them on investigations? Have we ever used them on investigations? Absolutely freaking not. Because 1A, I don't know if you move the planchette. I know I didn't, but I don't know if you didn't. And at that point, it becomes null and void in my book.
That's right.
All right. So we've got a question from Thomas Kennedy. How do I get started in ghost hunting? I absolutely would love to go on a ghost hunt. I'm looking to possibly visit Gettysburg here soon. Thomas, I think that is a fantastic place to start. If you want to get started on ghost hunting, Gettysburg is a phenomenal starting point. They have public paranormal investigations that you can go on. They have 1 hour, just kind of basic investigations, 2 hour and 3 hour extremes. It's a really cool experience. You go out with a guide. The guide has tools and equipment for you to utilize. They show you how to use it. They investigate with you. If you have any questions, they're right there. You go out with a group, and then when all is said and done, you get a cute little certificate with your name on it saying, like, I survived the extreme tour with so-and-so. In Gettysburg, you've got a multitude of investigations that you can hop on. You've got Ghost City tours, and you've got Gettysburg ghost tours with Gettysburg Paranormal Association. We personally hop on, or try to hop on, a public every time we're in Gettysburg to show our support. If you don't do public investigations and your thing is just to kind of go by yourself, I'm going to say go out with something simple like a set of dowsing rods or a K2 meter. Be very careful when you go out, because it is my understanding that if you're caught paranormal investigating on the battlefield, it's considered relic hunting. I have yet to get caught, but that doesn't mean that you won't, or whatever. But you also have other places that you can go all hours of the night for free, including Sachs Covered Bridge and the Eisenhower Bridge. If you give our TikTok a follow, it's the @ Hill City Ghosts, plural. I've done both the Eisenhower and the Sachs Bridge on our haunted historical series of some of the things to look for while you're at that location. Sean likes to make fun of me on the Eisenhower Bridge. It scares me. I don't like it. There's something on the other side of the bridge. I don't know what it is. I'm not crossing it. Good luck to you.
Get a good recorder. That's all you need is a recorder. A recorder and a camera. Cell phone to take pictures. That's all you really need.
Jess said, I bought a Ouija board but can't bring myself to actually open and use it. Only ever heard bad things, but I like the way they look, so maybe I won't use it. Jess, we're collectors. We like the way they look. For those that are wondering, this right here is a cool Michael's 50% off during Halloween season rug. Okay. This right here, the planchette, is a car magnet. I devised like a cool little wall piece with it. But if you were standing here to kind of give you an idea, up here, I've got I think a 1950s Ouija board. Over there, I've got like a 1920s Ouija board.
There's one in the garage too.
There's also a I think that one's 70s in the garage.
Yeah.
That one creeps me out and I won't allow it in the house. So it's staying in the garage. I'm going to figure out why it creeps me out though, and I'm going to eventually bring it in the house. So, I would say, just like with anything else, Jess, you being a sensitive, I would definitely set those intentions, man. Set those intentions.
I advise you not to.
I don't
Leave
know.
that thing alone.
I don't know.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
I don't know. I played with a Ouija board when I was like 9 at like a friend's sleepover. Her parents like flickered the lights. We all ran screaming because it was all a group of girls. And, from that point on, like we were possessed by the devil. I don't know. Maybe that's what's wrong with me today. Hey, Jess.
Hey, Jess. Shout out Jinkies Paranormal.
All right. Yes. Love Gettysburg. Gettysburg is amazing.
That's where we met Lost Souls.
Sam said her watch from a long ways away. You're already a long ways away. Get into the paranormal field. First and foremost, figure out what your goal in the field is, research or thrill seeker. Join a small local team with the intention to learn. Good advice.
That's a good point. I want to touch on that a little bit.
Plots.
Somebody who's just getting into the paranormal field.
Hey,
set
Dallas.
your intention. There's a lot of people who's in the field. What's up, Dallas? There's a lot of people.
It happens, Mom.
There's a lot of people in the field for the wrong reasons. There's people in it and I can't really say the wrong reasons. I can't judge anybody for their reasons. My reason for getting in it is different than Courtney's reason. It's different from Ronnie's, from Jess. There's people in it who seeks fame because they get off on going to Paracons and everybody knows who they are because they've got millions of followers on YouTube or whatever. There's people who get in it because it's a thrill. They like the jump scare. They like the thrill of it. So there's people in it for the scientific research. There's people in it because the spirit led them to it. So figure out what your purpose is. Why do you want to get into paranormal investigating? Is it because you watch the TV shows and you're excited about it? I'll tell you that once you get into it, just know that there's a lot of investigations where you're there for hours and nothing happens. So patience is definitely one of those things that you have to get into this field.
My goal is to be Zach Bagans when I grow up.
Me too. I just, I need to grow some hair first. My hair.
I need to get like a little thin mustache.
Read it.
Oh, I thought you were. My advice is if you're nervous about it, don't do it. Don't ever feed the fear in case there is a spirit there that is cranky or a human that's cranky. Angry is a thing. For me, it's just another tool, but I'm not going to use mine until I work with someone I trust and get some education. That is great advice for use on a Ouija board. Like I said, everybody I do think that Ouija boards do have a bad rap. I really do. I think that if used responsibly, they could be a good tool, maybe. But I mean, Rhonda, touch on this in the comments because I wanted to ask you, but I think I kind of went down the rabbit hole with scrying during your talk. So you were kind of talking about table tipping. And my question with table tipping is, wouldn't that indicate poltergeist activity? Curious. I will never forget that stupid road 666. I think I jumped out of the car right when we turned onto that road.
666. We got some good memories.
Did we go down 666 with Sam?
No, we weren't with Sam on 666.
I thought, who'd you go down 666 with, Sam?
She was lived here. Everybody's been down
I know.
666. If you grew
I
up
love learning
around
about the
here,
history
you've been down 666.
and who the spirits are in the stories. You know what, Emily? That's really honestly why I stay doing this, is like the haunted history piece. Like, I love that. I love going into historical locations. A lot of people like to go in blinds. I want to know the history of the property. I really do. You know, I think it's fascinating. I want to hear about the young bride that lost or paced the halls waiting for a soldier who never returned home. Like, I want to learn about that. I want to learn about, you know, whatever happens. Was it a Civil War hospital? We watched a documentary, or no, we were watching an old school, y'all are going to laugh in the comments, Sally Jesse Raphael, last night, when the owners of was it the Conjuring or the Amityville?
No, neither one.
Oh, it was some house
the
where
haunting in Connecticut.
The haunting in Connecticut house, where they got into an argument with, like, so it was the previous owners that were like raped and sodomized by, I'm sorry, I can't say that live, can I? SA'd by the ghost. And then the current owners that say that absolutely nothing happened in the house, right? So, I mean, I would have 10 out of 10, like, dug up the address prior to even renting the house, like, see what's going on, you know, stuff like that. I think that's cool. Yes, good advice, Ron. It's nothing like the TV shows. Yes, Jessica, feed the cranky humans, not the cranky spirits.
How about Ron from Boo's Paranormal's equipment?
Hey, his equipment is thebomb.com.
Yes.
The other awesome teams we get to meet along the way. Yes. Oh, we won't say that. I think I drank more on 666 than anywhere in Lynchburg.
Everybody did back in the day. If you were on 666 back in the day, you were probably doing one or two things. I won't say the other one.
Yeah, we're going to move it right along. Rhonda said that's a good question. My thought is not because we're asking for the movement and not it's just happening, if that makes sense. I mean, so then at that point, if it's just happening and you're not asking for it to happen, would that be considered energy-based or intelligent? Like, is it your energy that's maybe like, what is that called? Telekinesis? You know what I mean? I don't know. To me, though, as I look at table tipping, it's really not much different than Ouija board, where we're asking the spirit to move something. Right. I used to watch her, LOL. Sally Jesse Raphael. You're showing your age. Ouija boards are known to open portals to negative activity. It's a risk itself just going to some of these locations without using a device that opens portals, my opinion. But Ronnie, if I walk into a haunted location or a reportedly haunted location and I open up that portal by saying, are there any spirits in here that wish to communicate with me? At that point, now I've opened up a portal for anybody that wishes to communicate to come through.
But you're not using your physical energy to do it. You're using your voice, but you're not touching something and using physical to do it.
Oh no.
It's just like when we use a REM pod, you're not touching the REM pod and holding your energy on it to get a spirit to communicate.
So you're saying that when you open up the Ouija board, that the spirit would have to go through you to manipulate the planchette to move.
Exactly.
Interesting theory.
I feel like to operate a Ouija board.
Hey, Karen.
Hey, Karen. How you doing? How's my little man?
The bridge area.
Yeah, I've had some interesting stuff happen on 666, but nothing.
Have you ever heard the girl scream?
We've had some wild stuff happen back in the day.
I've never heard the girl scream.
Really wild stuff happen on 666. It used to be our hangout.
We're talking about ghosts,
Let's
Sean.
go Cavaliers. Jefferson Forest, baby. But yeah.
Oz, you can come ghost hunting with us. 10 out of 10.
Yes. Absolutely. Some look at using the Ouija board as a form of voluntary possession, as you're allowing someone, yeah, exactly, control your hands. You're using your physical energy to allow someone to touch and move you. I just don't,
But I feel like, okay, so how many times?
I'm talking about.
So hold on. Skirt. So how many times has somebody been under in the Estes method and you've said, if you're really here, can you touch so-and-so on their left shoulder? At that point, you open the door for an unseen force to touch somebody else.
They're touching you, but they're not using your energy to manipulate something. If it's different to say this or say use my hand to move.
But did you elaborate and say you can only tap them and you got to back away and don't touch them again? Don't go into them. Don't possess them. Like, do you elaborate all that?
And on top of that, Eve, you're saying, does any spirits want to communicate? It's a whole different thing. We heard Sean scream. Emily, you did not. I did not scream. Ah! I did not scream on the
What the hell was that? Ah!
Here we go, y'all. So y'all gonna start this lying on me stuff tonight. Ah! Y'all two do not need to investigate together anymore. From now on,
we 10 out of 10 are going to investigate 100 times more. Like, you cannot stop us.
Y'all two need to stop lying on me then. Stop lying on me. I did not scream.
Why you always lying?
I did not scream. I simply spoke in a term which I could be heard. That's it.
What?
I said, what was that in the sky? Because a big light was in the sky.
Nobody even talks like that when they're having a conversation.
I do.
What was that in the sky?
I said, what was that in the sky? No. Y'all saw the light.
It flew away.
Did y'all not see the light?
Nobody talks like that.
Did y'all see? Y'all saw the light.
Oh, we saw the light.
Okay.
Because you screamed and let everybody know you saw the light.
I did not scream. I raised my voice. I spoke in a tone in which everyone could hear me.
Okay, so next time I'm yelling at you, that's what I'm going to say. You're going to say, what the hell's wrong with you? Why are you mad? Why are you yelling? I am not yelling at you. I'm simply speaking in a tone in which you can hear me.
Look, listen, it was like Independence Day out there. The whole sky lit up.
Yeah. So by that thought, a pendulum and dowsing rods would be the same process as Ouija board. Bingo. I agree.
In my personal opinion.
I agree.
This is just Sean speaking. The pendulum, to me, is the same as a Ouija board. I feel for a pendulum, for me to believe it, a pendulum needs to be on a fixed stand in order for it to be accurate for me. If somebody's holding a pendulum and it starts moving, I feel like that's your body. No human sits perfectly still. So I think that a pendulum, for me to believe someone's operate that properly, it needs to be on a fixed platform.
So
don't shoot me, mediums.
Booze Paranormal brings up a good point there. Any item used to paranormal investigate could be considered bad, but do they really open the portal, or was the portal already there?
That's a question I can't answer, because I think that in our field, and again, y'all don't get mad at me for saying this, but I think that the word portal is way overused in our field.
David, I would love to get in there. I really would. The old hospital on Gray Street.
Wait a minute, David, I need you to call me sometime. I didn't even know you were into this stuff.
Different in speaking with spirits that reside at the location than opening a portal from a device that's known for its negativity. But Ronnie, is it known for its negativity, or did somebody along the way start the rumor that it's negative? Like, when they created this Ouija board, did they say, I'm creating this Ouija board and it's negative, take caution? Or did they say, if you want to talk to spirits, utilize this device? Because technically at that point, then it falls in line with all the other equipment we utilize.
But what's considered negative? People think that because they see a black mass or a shadow figure that it's negative. Every shadow figure that I've seen, I've never got a negative feeling from it.
No.
Never. Most shadow figures I see, I've never felt scared or uncomfortable. I just kind of look like, oh, dang, there goes a shadow figure. Rainworth Lodge, the shadow figures are weird there. If you've never been to Rainworth Lodge, you're missing out. But Rainworth, and Daniel Boner can attest to this. He's the owner of the lodge. And all of our team that's witnessed this, the shadow figures stand there for a minute, let you see them before they walk away. I've never got uncomfortable there. Not once. So, but people associate dark with evil. So down through the years in 1700s, 1800s, if they saw something like that, they associate black or dark with evil.
I think that comes with color auras. I think that's really where it comes from. So that goes well beyond, like, this is a whole nother topic that we'll have to touch on.
Right.
It is in all how you articulate things, right?
Good point.
So some of the mediums in here and the sensitives can touch on this. So some of the color auras that are seen and stuff like that, way back, I don't even know how far it goes, but there were certain colors that were like affiliated with spirits. Blue and white always brought peace. Red and black were always more mischievous, more deviant, things like that. So, I mean, I think that's where the whole shadow figures and dark masses are evil came from. But I do want to get over here. Eddie and Jen, the vlogs and then some. Y'all, if you don't like them, give them a like, follow, subscribe.
Absolutely.
They air every Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on YouTube. What's good? Gang, gang. Sorry, was having dinner. I hope it was something good. I just want to say something about the Ouija board. Depending on your location, sometimes portals may already be open.
That's a point,
and that's kind of what we were trying to decipher here. Are we opening the portals, or are the portals already open? That's what Ron said.
Right.
Okay. Rhonda said, I think as I learn more, I become more open to things. 3 years ago, I would have never have touched a Ouija board. Now I'm like, let me have some knowledge and educate myself and see how I feel about it then.
Good point, Rhonda.
And I think that's a lot of our problem with a lot of this stuff is lack of knowledge. I think if we took, like, for example, the pendulum, I will sit here and I will say, I am not versed on utilizing a pendulum. I get the concept. You're asking a spirit to manipulate the pendulum, side to side, up and down, whatever. I get the concept, but I'm not versed enough to utilize it. Me and you had extensive conversation about scrying, mirror scrying, fire scrying. And then I learned a whole nother way to scry was in water. So now, I'm completely down the rabbit hole with scrying at the moment. So I think that it takes knowledge and education on every device or anything that we utilize in the field while paranormal investigating. Rhonda said, I may still say hell to the no after some education. Besides a spirit box is like a Ouija board. It's just easier to close.
I said that. I'm with y'all on that. Yeah. Portals
are being used more in ufology now, thanks to Skinwalker Ranch. Chad, I still cannot get down with Skinwalker Ranch. 4 episodes deep. And I'm staring at the screen waiting for something to happen and nothing happened. If you see me in a cemetery, call me Black Mass.
I like to say that about myself sometimes.
So then if you and Eddie get together, will you be the shadow figures?
No, we'll be the big Black Mass.
Bingo on that, Sean. I've only seen one negative shadow figure, but they've all had a bad rep. Now, check this out. Let me touch on that shadow figure really quick before I keep going with the comments, okay? So, the one black mass that I saw, and yes, it was in a cemetery, ironically there, Eddie. When I walked into this particular location, I walked into a section of the cemetery. I stopped dead in my tracks. And I looked at Sean, my stepdaughter was with me, and I said, we need to get out of here. Sean said, what's going on? Naya looked at me. She said, why? I said, something doesn't want us here. Back up. Go back to the car. Get out of here. We got to go. As I was walking backwards, I was using a DLR raw image Canon camera, and I was snapping back-to-back photos, all the way till I got all the way to the car. When I got in the car, I reviewed the photos, didn't see anything, kept it moving. I just got a really bad feeling, didn't want to go back to that section. We went to another section of the cemetery, kept it moving, got home, put the picture, and this is totally summarized, put the pictures on the computer, and that's where I found my very first photo that I took had a black mass with almost what appeared to be like wings coming out of pure white snow. So with that being said, could that have qualified as a negative black mass? Could be. Is that what caused the negative energy that made me want to hightail and get up out of there? I don't know. But I think that's, a good point. I think Hollywood has also given people the idea that any form of communication with the other side is negative. Absolutely.
Hollywood has completely destroyed paranormal investigating. If you think I'm lying about that one, just look at the Warrens' real cases versus The Conjuring.
Yeah. David said he knows a little about it, but not a whole. He doesn't do a whole lot with it. When you live as far out in the country as you do, you don't mess with it too much. And those that, live deep in the Appalachia and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure David can probably answer in the comments, but I'm 90% sure his curtains get drawn and all the doors get locked when nightfall happens. 99% of the people in this chat are against using a Ouija board. So we all know that they are known for negative activity that is beyond what we all have ever dealt with. Have you ever investigated a place where people have used a Ouija board? I don't know.
Yes, actually I have.
I've been told that a Ouija board's been used there, but have I physically sat down with people while using a Ouija board? No.
No, I haven't, but the cemetery that we investigate at was known for a lot of satanic rituals at one time, and they used Ouija boards there, and sometimes some things have came across that spirit box there that was kind of negative. So, I mean, have I felt any evil there? No. But again, that black mass was there. So who knows?
I mean, we're running out of time, but I think another topic for another day is going to be talking about shadow figures and black masses, because I have a different opinion on that, and I can leave everybody with a cliffhanger. I am wondering if some of the negative feelings that we may get are reflections of maybe our inner self at that moment, or maybe like something that we might be going through in our life.
Or are we scared because of the unknown? Because we feel something's with us that we just can't.
I don't know. I don't like the dark. He's going to be too high.
Snoop Deal Double Jizzle.
But he had Lost Souls shirt on. That's awesome. James Brady, Spirit Led Paranormal.
What's up, Mr. Brady?
We're not going to fire you here, honey. All right. As a baby medium, I'm learning a ton. I've learned so much in 2 years. I'm still learning, but even in my growth, there are some things that still scare the shit out of me. So I'll be leaving that board on display. You guys have sold me on that. Bye, Karen. Have a wonderful night.
Good night,
Thanks
Karen.
for tuning in. Jess Webb, 20 plus years in the field. I'm still learning. There are no experts in this field for sure. Although recently I did see somebody who was a speaker at an event. I'm not going to say any names. And his title said, so-and-so paranormal expert.
Yeah, I did see that.
And that caught my attention because I read it about
First thing we thought about was Ronnie.
5 times. And I said, I wonder if Ronnie has seen this. Thought that was kind of comical. Eddie, yes, we need to get together with a group at night, then ask everyone to turn their flashlights off, then ask, can they see us smiling? I am done with y'all.
They ain't gonna see me smile. I barely show up in pictures.
We won't see y'all smiling, but we'll see your eyes.
Yeah, I barely show up in pictures.
Do you have Messenger by any chance? I would like to get in touch with you.
Yes. You can hit me up anytime. My real name's Dirk. I'm serious. Y'all can put in the comments. Those y'all, what's my real name? It's Dirk.
What's my MFing name?
Dirk Diggler. That's my real name.
Eddie, his name on Facebook is Dirk Diggler.
I'm dead serious.
I'm going to change my name on Facebook to Roller Girl.
Becky Barnett.
Becky Barnett.
I'm
all right.
Am I lying? Y'all put in the comments. My real name, Dirk Diggler.
Then change your name to Bert Beckerack.
What do you get when you fall in love?
All right. Demonic activity is rare. I
agree with that, Ronnie.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that.
I hear so much about demonic stuff at locations, demonic stuff, and I'm not sending shots. I ain't my 6 shooters all put up right now. I'm not sending shots, but I hear so much about demonic locations, demonic. And I don't think that people realize that not just because something is bad or not good doesn't mean it's demonic. People don't realize demonic. There's a big difference between a bad person or bad energy and demonic. I don't think people realize that, the demons never walk the earth. They're not human spirits. And I think people really mix that up. And a lot of people don't realize that some of the good things that you see may not even be good. Some of the good positive responses you get at location may not even be good spirits. So like we really don't know what we're dealing with, but not everything people is demonic. So, Ronnie, that's a good point. Demonic is very rare.
So Jessica said, are shadow figures actually negative or just being protective of their space? That's a good question. I get more aggressive if I feel threatened, so why wouldn't spirits?
I think shadow figures aren't meant to be seen, honestly. I think they don't want to. I think that we accidentally see shadow figures.
That is a topic that we are going to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to talk
coming up soon because
we say next show. We need to start getting some more teams. We don't.
There is actually a cool little piece of the human brain that allows us to see shadow figures. And anybody who knows me knows I absolutely am a sucker for psychology. Love it. Psychology and physiology, all those things like go hand in hand. We will talk about that on a show here coming up very soon, probably next week. But I think you guys will probably want to tune into that because if this one in particular little friend is activated, you will have the ability to see shadow figures more frequently. But I do agree with that if they're being protective, solely because, I mean, if you go in the ocean and you kick a shark.
I don't get in the ocean.
Right? That's right. Jellyfish sting you and only you.
I go ankle deep. That's it.
And they still managed to find his ankles.
Did I not get stung the last time I was
Sean,
in the ocean?
I don't know what happened to you.
You tried to pee on my feet. Are you serious? You saw my foot blistering up. I didn't get stung in the ocean? I don't get in the ocean, man.
Y'all, I may have had one too many.
You tried to pee on my feet.
I read somewhere that if you pee on somebody, I was just looking for an excuse.
We got beyond the badge. They're paramedics and stuff like that. Was she supposed to pee on my feet? No. That's a myth. You don't pee on people's feet because they get stung by a jellyfish.
If I have drinks in my system and I have to pee and he's screaming, comes running out of the ocean. Oh my God. Comes running out of the ocean.
I'm not going to keep correcting you and Emily. I did not
screaming.
I did not scream.
I was trying to prevent mass panic at a public beach, y'all.
I did not scream.
I was doing a civil service.
I was in the ocean doing my normal thing. I was splashing around in the water. And a jellyfish stung my foot, and you told me you be pee on it? You mean pee?
Y'all.
You pee on your foot?
Y'all.
That's you said that. You mean pee on your foot?
Look, hop from a paramedic. Pee.
Jeremy, you're just saying that because you're trying to know. You're not supposed to pee on nobody's feet.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, okay. Y'all are full of paramedics and law enforcement, and then she gets arrested for indecent exposure.
It's true. Pee or vinegar. The acid neutralizes it. I'm not crazy, guys. I may have had some liquid encouragement that would cause me to want to urinate in public, but that's a story for another day. Like, he come out of the ocean. I was just trying to prevent mass panic.
I was not screaming.
Okay, there were children present.
I was not screaming.
These kids could have thought there was a shark. Did you ever think about that?
It was a jellyfish like this big.
Y'all.
And it peed.
It peed. The jellyfish peed.
It stung the shit out of you.
It stung you.
It stung the
after it peed or before? This big.
That jellyfish was long, man. That thing had tentacles like this big. And it peed. I mean,
see, from a police officer, I would not arrest her. I'm trying to save you. Oh no! Next thing you know, everyone's peeing on everything.
Yeah, now I got 10 people just standing over me peeing on. You got Diddy and R. Kelly over here talking about some.
Oh my God! I'm done. Kim wants to know why you just scream so much.
They're lying. They are clearly. I can't believe you believe this nonsense. I didn't scream. I said, Cortney, something just stung the shit out. That's what I
said. I'm standing there enjoying my time.
That is not what happened.
Nice pina colada in one hand, and all of a sudden,
thank you. Thank you, Leah.
Oh, so okay, Leah. So now you're going to co-sign. So the jellyfish
that thing was like this long.
I had 100 foot.
I saw it. I was like, "What is this?" Thing wouldn't let go either.
You said you might like to be peed on.
No, man. Listen, I was not at the Diddy party. I was not at the Diddy party. I've done some freaky things in my day, but getting peed on.
For the record, he would not let me pee on him. I did not think that was very fair.
I would have football kicked your ass.
Yes, a pina colada. Yes, I was enjoying
pina colada.
Oh my God.
You're not peeing on my.
So, guys, true story. When I get scared, I get mad. So, like, I'm standing there, I'm enjoying, I'm vibing, right? The waves are crashing.
I was rolling around.
All of a sudden, I see Sean running as fast as he can, yelling.
And
I got stung.
I'm a big dude, but I'm fast too.
It got me. I got stung. I see these moms like looking at Sean. So I said, get over here and let me pee on you. I didn't know what else to say.
Okay. You hear this? Get over here, let me pee on you. That's what Diddy was saying.
I didn't want Sean to cause mass panic at a public beach.
If anybody ever been stung by a jellyfish, you would run too. That shit hurts.
So, with that being said, Ronnie said you should have wore your Crocs.
I do wear my Crocs in the ocean now.
With this being said,
I don't get in the water without my Crocs, and I go ankle height.
Hey, Jeremy said big dudes can move when they're threatened with pee.
Hey, I'm a big dude. I got some wheels, man. I can run.
But with this being said, guys,
I carried the ball.
He says, "Do you see the marks on my foot?" Let me tell you how Sean works. I get down. I'm looking at his foot. No. You don't see him. Listen, you don't see him right here.
Yeah, you're lying.
And I'm like, oh yeah, there's something right there.
You're lying to our friends on the podcast. Okay. You are lying.
I did see something weird on his foot. You saw
blisters and blood.
There was no blood.
That was blisters. There was all over my foot.
Now it's all over. It was like 2. Suck it up. You should have let me pee on it. There wouldn't have been any blisters.
Oh my God. I can't believe you're sitting here lying to the people.
Next time I'm not going to say anything.
You're lying to law enforcement and paramedics.
Last I checked, lying is not a crime.
They're not going to save you.
I'm not the one that needed saved. You're the one with 100-foot.
You're going to call 911 and Jess is going to show up and I'm going to tell you you're lying.
And she's going to pee on you too.
Oh my God. Now I'm getting pissed on by everybody. Here we go. I'm going to show up to the next Paracon. Everybody's going to pull their pants down.
Y'all, with that being said, I'm
going to show up to the Paracon. Everybody's going to be drinking water. What's up? Everybody grab a bottle of water. Hill City just showed up.
If y'all want to see Sean scream, let's do this. Right, Jessica? But did you die?
Let me tell you something. If I show up to a Paracon again and y'all got a bottle of water, I'm not coming around you. If I see water on your table, I'm coming with a portable toilet.
We have to stay hydrated. That's healthy. The paramedics told us. This went from comedy to a horror show. I peed on Sean's foot and there was blood everywhere and tentacles. 100-foot tentacles at that with a jellyfish this big.
That jellyfish, let me tell you something. It looked like something.
That's right, Em. It's better to be pissed on than pissed off.
Emily, go to bed. Go to bed. Okay? Go to bed.
Eddie's got the Diddy oil.
I'd rather her put Diddy oil on me than pee on me.
Guys, on that note.
You can put oil on me, but don't pee on me.
You want me to hold that thing down? Y'all, until next. Look, Jeremy, that you missed a previous podcast. We were thinking about like a paranormal OnlyFans page. Like,
Jeremy's gonna be our only fan.
Our only subscriber. Yeah, anyway. So this
Sun's out, buns out.
Yeah, that's right. Sun's out, buns out. Daryl, always a pleasure.
Thank you, brother. Thank y'all for tuning in. We love y'all.
Guys, until next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I saw your comment up there, Alan. Next Tuesday, we're going to talk about shadow figures and the cool little friends that we all possess that allows us to be able to see these shadow figures and what we can do to help activate it, okay? So until next time, guys, I'm Cortney.
I'm Sean. Y'all tune into the freaking awesome paranormal show.
We'll see you on the other side.